Well, Hands of Freedom really helps those people in the most dire of situations in India. And that means that they need water, they need education, they need business training. And we come alongside them to provide those skills and abilities that allows them to have a better life. And we're passionate about that because that's really getting involved with people that aren't able to help themselves. As much as they'd like to, as much as they would try everything they can to lift themselves out of poverty, sometimes they need a hand to do that. And we come alongside them to lift them with that hand. Bringing our message to people is, of course, critical to telling them about what we're doing, to communicating how we're doing it, and to help them understand how they can get engaged in what we're doing. So we rely on our website, which is a source of information about what we're doing, where we're doing it, and stories from people that are benefiting from the work that's being done and supported by our donors. So basically, we get real engaged with the website. We also get very engaged with publicity, and our publicity efforts center on telling our story through media channels such as radio, TV, and print. And that's very important to us because that communicates the deeper details of our message and how folks can engage with us. Recently, we had a high school girl that sponsored a well through Hands of Freedom. And this was money that she had saved from every source that she had, whether it was babysitting, whether it was holiday money. And working with media relations, we were able to put together a campaign that communicated this in print with local newspapers in the communities in which the girl lived, as well as going through television broadcasts with news broadcasts to communicate to a wider audience the visuals of our story. And as a result of that, we were able to actually, just recently, a donor contacted us that had seen the news story and said, I want to get involved and I want to do a well also. And it was a direct result of the publicity efforts that we engaged in. Media coverage is really an essential part of telling your story in today's fast-paced world. It's very difficult to remove yourself from the clutter of all the different stories and ideas that are out there and to really have a focused effort in communicating what your organization is all about and the good that you're doing. So it's absolutely essential, I think, to rely on publicity efforts and to use those to their fullest extent. Anybody might be a little intimidated by working with the media. We see people on TV, we think, wow, that's really impressive, and it might be challenging for us to talk with them. But in real life, they're people too, and doing media interviews is just like having a conversation. And that's how I always approach it, is you're just having a friendly conversation with someone who's interested in learning more about what you're doing and helping you tell that story to others. Leveraging media coverage is always important for us. We're able to use Twitter and Facebook, other social media, to tell the story and tell others about the stories that have been done on us in various media efforts. In addition, we put all of the stories on our website, especially video from television newscasts, because that really is a great way for the public to learn more as they're looking at our website. I think it's really important to consider every vehicle, every avenue, every angle that you can. And when you are able to engage with the media through tools like those offered by Media Relations, it's an absolutely great way to tell your story, tell others about what you do, tell them how they can be engaged in being a part of the great work that you're doing. Working with Media Relations is a great opportunity because Media Relations has skilled people that understand how to tell stories to get your story told. And they're very good at working with the media, getting placements, and really driving the story for you with those other audiences, because it's very difficult to know who to contact and who to reach in order to get that media coverage. It requires somebody like those folks at Media Relations that really have deep relationships and are able to build trust with media outlets that they will be delivered a great story. And so we really rely heavily on Media Relations. Hands of Freedom is an organization that really is focused on life transformation. And who doesn't want to be part of life transformation? And the personal reason that I'm engaged in Hands of Freedom is I have a sister who was adopted from India as a baby. And I saw her come over as malnourished, as not having the kinds of things that you would hope for a little baby to have when they first arrive. So with that, fast forward decades, and when I met the founder of the organization and was asked to be involved in it, I couldn't refuse, because it was absolutely bringing home the ability to help those who can't help themselves. When you spend a lot of time in a corporate environment, I worked for a Fortune 500 organization for many, many years and learned a tremendous amount of different skills and abilities and things that I was able to transfer, because let's face it, nonprofits are organizations just like businesses are organizations. And they need the kinds of skills and abilities and talents that business people can bring to them and utilize for the better good. And so in taking a lot of those things that I learned in the corporate environment and applying them to an organization like Hands of Freedom and building a board of folks that are able to do that, it's really the thing that allows us to take the organization to the next level in terms of helping those in need.